Hi friends! Welcome to Too Good for Drugs for 5th grade. My name is Miss Larkin, and we're going to spend the next 10 lessons talking about different things to help us say no to drugs. So we're going to talk a little bit about drugs towards our last couple lessons, but most of the time we're going to spend talking about other things that prevent us from needing to use drugs, like setting goals and how to communicate and talk about our feelings, how to make good decisions. So today, what we're going to start with for lesson 1 is talking about how to set a reachable goal. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and what I want from you is for you to raise your hand if this applies to you. Do you know how to ride a bike? I do. How about use a computer? You better be raising your hand on this one, because if you're listening to me, you definitely know how to use a computer. How about eat with chopsticks? Me too. How about play a sport? I play softball. What about study for a test? Do you know how to do that? I know how to do that one too. What about speak a second language? I don't know how to do that one. How about take care of a pet? I do. I take care of my pet, Paul. He's a dog. And make a new friend. Yep, definitely know how to do that one. Awesome. So it seems like you know how to do at least some of these things, which is great. So I want you to think about a time when maybe you didn't know how to do some of these things. Like you didn't know how to ride a bike, or you didn't know how to play a sport, and you decided that you wanted to learn how to do those things. You might have set out some goals for yourself, some things that you wanted to achieve or to accomplish. So when we have those things, we call them goals. Goals are things that we want to set out to achieve or do. And we're going to talk about different types of goals. So you might have a goal to be a professional athlete, or maybe work for NASA, or be a firefighter. We call those long-term goals. Long-term goals usually take us a year or maybe even our whole life till we can accomplish them. Today, what we're going to talk about, though, is short-term goals. So short-term goals are goals that take us maybe a few weeks or a few months to accomplish. Short-term goals can help us reach our long-term goals, but in smaller, tiny bites. So we're going to take a look at a short-term goal. And I want you to get your pencil and paper and write down for me a short-term goal that you have for yourself, something that you want to accomplish in the next couple of weeks or couple of months. So take a few minutes and write that down now. I'll wait. Okay, so got your goal written down? Excellent. So now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how we name a goal, because sometimes we find that people give up on their goals before they've really even gotten started, maybe after a couple of days or even a couple of weeks. Sometimes it's because they lose confidence. Sometimes it's because it turns out they really don't like it. And other times it's because they made it too hard for themselves. So we're going to take a look at how you named your goal. So there's 4 things that we talk about when naming a goal. Our first one is personal. Is the goal personal? Is it personal to you? Does it matter? Because if it's not important to you, then you're probably not going to put a whole lot of work into it. Next up is it possible? Is it something you could really do? Now, if we're talking about a goal we're trying to accomplish in the next couple of weeks to couple of months, we have to remember that there's some things that have changed in our life right now. So we want to make sure that we're setting a goal that's possible. Next up is positive. Is it something that you want to do? We don't want to look so much at the stuff you don't want to do or you want to avoid. We want to look at the stuff that you're willing to accomplish. Next up, specific. Are you being clear about what you want? And we're going to look at all these things together, step by step. Now let's meet some friends that have set some goals for themselves. I'm going to read you a list of 2 people's goals, and I want you to decide which one of them met their goal. And then I want you to try to think about why. So our first set of friends is Ruth and Jane. Jane said, I don't really want to be in the gymnastics tournament, but my coach wants me to do it. Ruth said, my goal is to win the gymnastics tournament. I've wanted to do this as long as I can remember. Take 1 minute and figure out who you think meets their goal and why. So, who did you guess? If you guessed Ruth, you're right. Ruth is definitely the one that reaches her goal. But why? Well, it's because it's personal to her. Her goal matters to her. It's what's important to her. She's wanted to do this forever. Jane just wants to do this because her coach wants her to. And that's nice, but she's probably not going to work as hard as Ruth would. So I want you to take a look at the goal that you wrote down. Is your goal personal to you? Does it really matter to you? Or are you doing it for somebody else? So, if it's personal to you and matters to you, amazing. And if it's not, I want you to take a minute and go ahead and fix it. Make sure your goal is personal and matters to you. Our next set of friends is Lisa and Anita. They both want to save $20 to buy their mom a birthday present. Lisa said, my mom's birthday is in 6 months. I'll save $5 a month. Anita said, my mom's birthday is next week. Which one of these girls do you think reached their goal? And why? Take a minute and figure it out. Who'd you pick? If you picked Lisa, you are so right. Awesome job. So Lisa's definitely going to reach her goal. But why? She's going to reach her goal because it's possible. She spent the time to think about how much time it would take her to save up $20. She gets an allowance and she's going to save some. Maybe she'll do some extra chores around the house to earn it even quicker. But she has a plan and it's possible and realistic. So if I said, I want to start surfing right now in the middle of Boyertown, Pennsylvania, is that really possible? It's not. There's not an ocean here. It's cold outside. I don't run a surfboard. But if I maybe wanted to make it a goal for the summertime and I decide that I'm going to go down there and I'm going to find a surfing coach and I'm going to buy myself a surfboard and then said I wanted to learn how to surf, that's much more reasonable. So go ahead and take a look at your goal. Is your goal possible? Remember to keep in mind that our world's a little different right now. So make sure that you have the time and the ability and the resources to make that happen. Is your goal possible for you to accomplish in the next couple of weeks to couple of months? Take a minute and figure out if it is. If it is, amazing. I love it. And if it's not, go ahead and fix it up so that it is. I'll wait. All right, now for our third set of friends, Brooks and Frederick. Both these guys want to be healthy and fit for an upcoming baseball tournament. Brooke said, I won't eat cookies or drink soda after school anymore. Frederick said, I'll eat a piece of fruit and drink lots of water for my snack every day after school. So take a minute and decide, who do you think is going to reach their goal? And don't forget to think about why. Who'd you pick? If you picked Frederick, you are so right. Awesome job. Frederick's goal is positive. He's talking about all the wonderful things that he is willing to do, and he's not focusing on the things he's not willing to do. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to give up cookies. I love them. They're delicious. But I would definitely be willing to switch my snack to an apple and lots of fruit instead of those cookies. So take a minute and figure out if your goal is positive. Look for words like won't, don't, and can't. If your goal has those words in it, then I want you to think about how you can make it a more positive goal. What are the things that you're willing to do? What could you actually accomplish? Not the things that you'd avoid and not want to do. If your goal already is positive, amazing, I love it. If it's not, go ahead and fix it now, and we'll wait. All right, our fourth set of friends, John and Jack. John said, in fifth grade, I'll read 3 books each month. Jack said, in fifth grade, I will read more. Which one of these friends do you think reaches their goal? And why? If you guessed John, amazing, because John is totally the right answer. But why? It's because John's goal is specific. He said he wanted to read 3 books in a month. He didn't just say, I want to read more. And this is the trickiest one. And most friends need to adjust their goal at this point. And that's okay. I want you to look for words like more, better, some, or anything like faster, stronger. Because although that's really great, I don't really know what that means. Because for me, running faster is really running at all, because Miss Larkin doesn't run. That's not a thing she does. But maybe you're a really amazing runner. So running faster for you is different than running faster for me. How many books do you read a month? What would more be to you? For me, more books would be 2. But maybe you're a really, really good reader. And for you, reading more books would be reading 4 or 5. So we need to make sure that we're being clear. This is so important because it helps us to know when our goal is done. Because if I said, Jack, when's your goal done of reading more? Well, when he reads more, but is that more like 1 more or more like 7 more? So I want you to see if your goal is specific. Remember, look for those words like more, better, some, or stronger or faster. What does it mean to you? If you get stuck, as most of us do, that's okay. It usually happens with words like faster and stronger. So if you want to be a better, faster, stronger, say, baseball player, how would you do that? Maybe you need to work on your throwing. Maybe you want to get 2 out of 3 of your throws all the way to home plate from left field, because maybe now you only get 1. So we want to think about what better means. And it helps if we're thinking about how many times out of 10 do you make it happen. So maybe now you make, if you're playing basketball, you make 4 shots out of 10, and you want to do a better job at that. So maybe you'd say, I want to get 6 shots out of 10. So take a few minutes and figure out how you can make your goal specific. Okay, so let's review the 4 parts to naming our goal. So when we name our goal, we want to make sure that 1, it's personal. Does it matter to me? Is it important to me? Or am I doing it for someone else? We want to make sure your goals are personal and important to you. 2, We want to make sure that that goal is possible. Is it something that you can actually do right now? And don't forget that the world's a little different. So we need to be thinking about that too. Do you have the time, the ability, and the resources to make your goal happen in the next couple of weeks to couple of months? 3, is your goal positive? Are you talking about the things that you will do as opposed to the things that you won't do? We want to make sure that it's stated as I will do this instead of I won't do that. And 4, the last part of naming a goal. Is it specific? And remember, this is the trickiest part. Most of us struggle to think about being specific. Look for those words like more, better, and some, stronger, faster, things like that. That doesn't help us when we're setting a goal. We want to be really clear. What does more mean to us? Is more 1 or is more 27? I don't know. That's what you need to tell me. So take a look, double check your goal. Does it meet those 4 naming criteria? Is it personal, possible, positive, and specific? So we've talked about the first step to setting a reachable goal. Our first step was naming it. And we talked about those 4 things we need to do when we name our goal. Is it personal, possible, positive, and specific? Now we're going to take a look at the next 5 steps to setting a goal because there's 6 altogether. So first we named it. We did that together and we did amazing. Second, we want to picture ourselves reaching it. We want to imagine what it would be like to really reach that goal. Why do you think that that's so important? The reason that's so important is because it makes it really real for us. If we can picture ourselves doing this amazing, incredible thing, it makes it so much more real. Picturing ourselves doing it is really powerful. Step 3. We want to make sure that we're saying, I can. I want to cheer myself on. I want to be my cheerleader. I can do this. I am amazing. I've got this. Just the way we would treat a friend. 4. We want to think how to do it. This is where we come up with a plan. How are we going to accomplish our goal? What are we going to need to do? What sort of things do we need? How are we going to do it? What's my timeline? We want to think how to do it and come up with a plan. 5. Go for it. This is where we actually go through with our plan and see if we can accomplish that goal. This is our action step. And 6, the best part of reaching a goal is when we get to reach it, we celebrate our success. Now, sometimes it feels like maybe that's not so important, but I'm here to tell you that celebrating your success is so important. Why do you think it is? I don't know what you said, but I'm going to tell you. The reason it's so important is because if you've reached your goal and you celebrate and give yourself an amazing gift, maybe you get takeout, or maybe you let yourself watch an extra 30 minutes of TV or play an extra 30 minutes of Fortnite. Well, if you're getting good things for doing good things, are you going to be more likely to do more good things in the future? Oh my gosh, totally. And let's be honest, do successful people set goals for themselves? Of course they do. And we want you to be a successful person. So when we set a goal for ourselves, we want to make sure that when we reach it, we celebrate how amazing and awesome we've done. Next up, we're going to meet a friend named Theodore. Theodore is an artist, and he loves to draw and paint. It's his favorite subject in school. And he decides that he wants to set a goal for himself to get his picture published in the yearbook by winning the spring art contest. So take a look at your worksheet. You're going to see the 6 steps that Theodore took to reach his goal. What I want you to do is put them in order because you may have noticed they are not in order. So our first step to reaching a goal is naming it. Our second is picturing yourself reaching it. 3rd, say I can. 4, think how to do it. 5, go for it. And number 6 is celebrate your success. I want you to take 5 minutes, read over your worksheet, and decide which order to put them in. And then we'll review them together. What did you pick for step 1? Name it. If you picked letter C, you're totally right. So letter C says, Theodore's favorite activity is painting. His favorite subject in school is art. To challenge himself, Theodore wants to enter the spring art contest at school. The winner's artwork will be published in the yearbook. Theodore names his goal by saying, I will get my artwork published in this year's spring art contest. What did you pick for step number 2? Picture yourself reaching it. If you decided on letter F, you're totally right. Amazing job. Letter F says, next, Theodore closed his eyes and imagined himself receiving his yearbook and opening it to the page where his artwork was displayed. Step 3, say I can. What letter did you pick? If you picked letter B, you are so right. Letter B says, Theodore told himself, I can win this art contest because painting is my talent. What about step number 4? Think how to do it. If you pick letter D, amazing job. Letter D says, Theodore had to think how he would accomplish his goal. He made a list of supplies that he would need. He asked his mom if she would help with the cost of the materials and to give him a ride to the art store to buy them. He marked down the deadline to submit his artwork on his calendar so he wouldn't forget. Step 5, go for it. If you picked letter A, you are right. Awesome. Letter A says, Theodore began taking action. He took his list, purchased the supplies he needed, and got to work on his masterpiece. Finally, he submitted his artwork for the contest. Step 6, celebrate your success. What did you pick? If you picked letter E, awesome. Letter E says, Theodore won the contest. He went out to dinner with his family to celebrate at his favorite restaurant. So, how did you do? I hope you did really well. I'm sure that you did. Let's review one more time the 6 steps we take to setting a reachable goal. First up, we have to name it. And when we name it, we want to make sure it's personal, possible, positive, and specific. Step number 2, we want to picture yourself reaching it. Can you imagine how amazing it would be? Step 3, say I can. Be your own cheerleader. Step 4, think about how to do it. Come up with an amazing plan. Step 5, go for it. Act out that plan and give it your best effort. And 6, celebrate your success. When you reach your goal, because you will, because you're amazing, celebrate how great you did and how hard you worked, because then you're going to want to set yourself more goals. And remember, successful people set goals, and you are going to be successful. The next time we talk, we're going to discuss how to make great decisions. So I'll see you next time. Bye, friends.